They said Gray paved the way, changed the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's really good? The Talker New York Chef, OG Boricua Dandada, a.k.a. whatever, Muffins Martinez, Rob K, Urban Wrestling Network, MLW Confusion, Major League Podcast, NXT, TNA, whatever else we freaking feel like covering, blah, 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 blah. Exactly. These guys, because finally we're talking MLW, so I'm going to say these guys love the show, and I'm going to be super anti against this show, right? I am going to be the official Johnny Rain Clouds of 2024. It's going to be disgusting. So, gentlemen, it's Monday. Are we throwing this out today? Yeah, right? It's going out today?
Yep.
All right, so y'all get it sometime Monday tonight, whatever it is. Hope you had a good weekend and have some good food tonight, start of the week. Best of luck and everything. Get the bag. Starts off with that MSL show, right? Saint Laurent
sessions with Saint Laurent.
Saint Laurent, right? Like, so for some reason, the Florida Fat Joe is now thinking he's French.
He's French Canadian.
Is he?
He's legit. Well, he puts it like on his social media. He's grandson of a former Canadian Prime Minister.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's legit. But
that guy is cooler than Saint Laurent. So salute to that guy. He brings out Stingray from Cobra Kai. You know, he's doing the douchebag thing, taking the mic away. Stingray fucking gives him a quick 1-2, bang. Filthy Tom Lawler comes out in his Pride outfit, looking glorious, pause. But if you're into that, the guy was doing it. So comes out, beats up PWH, sends him into a fucking ambulance. Gentlemen, this is the start of the show. This is the kicker to this show that it was so good. Talk to me.
Well, first of all, I said it was meh overall. And this was part of the reason why. Like, I felt this, I know what the segment was meant to do. It just, honestly, it bored the heck out of me. Like, Saint Laurent choose scenery a lot of times, like choose scenery in the worst way a lot of the times. And Stingray, honestly, like, he didn't show much, like, he wasn't near as entertaining as he was in like the Battle Riot backstage stuff and then during Battle Riot itself. Like, he just kind of like came out like almost like he was local celebrity number 9 and just did his thing.
In Stingray's defense, he couldn't really say much because he kept doing and moving the mic away with his fat jiggling. You know what I mean? Like,
but he took the mic away and then was like, Atlanta's got a rich pro wrestling history, and like they could have hired me to do that. Except I guess I don't have an Emmy. So like, but I put it in the chat. Like, I'm like, I had like sleepy emojis in the chat because like this was doing absolutely nothing for me. Like, the best part of this was Tom Lawler coming out and swinging away just because it meant the segment was going to end soon. And Tom Lawler is glorious.
You can't hate. No one can hate on Tom Lawler. Like, the guy is just fucking fun, right? Like,
yeah. Now, I didn't care much. I didn't like that part of the show starting with that nonsense, but it just maybe put something in for the future where Stingray might come back in the future to get revenge on Tom Lawler and San Croissant. But other than that, I didn't care for it. You know, it's too early for that. I would expect some matches and then bring it in. You know, put that shit in there, or maybe do it in the back. But yeah.
So we're admitting that this was a dud, right? We're starting off with a dud?
Yes. This part,
okay.
Yes.
So
I love this show.
We're going through it. We're going through this show that you love that I think is a dud.
I loved it.
Bobby Fish versus Adam Priest, right?
Yes.
To me, I was already starting to fall asleep, right? It was already becoming nap time because I'm like, yo, I like Bobby Fish. I've been on here. We talked Bobby Fish a lot. This match to me was something I cannot enjoy. I don't know. Besides the few physical strong moves he did, I was like, yo, man. And I like the Adam Priest guy in the Battle Riot too. But in this shit, to me, this was a flop. I'm 0 for 2 on the first two things.
I like the match. I like both guys. Adam Priest. I haven't seen much of him before, but I like them. Hopefully he'll come back more in the future. I'm a Bobby Fish fan from Red Dragon, so I'm cool with him. He, the match did his thing. It built him up for the opera. No, the Opera Cup, not the Opera Cup, but the Opera Cup coming up. And we know who he's gonna be facing later on. But this was just a little teaser of what he could do coming up for the Opera Cup coming up later in the future. So it started good. So it was warming me up for the rest of the show.
My primary problem with this match is that they used Adam Priest when they could have used any sort of local talent, because they really hyped him up in Battle Riot as a young up and comer coming out of Alabama. Like he is the next wave of independent wrestling, and they tried to hype him up during all 3 minutes of this match itself too. Like Adam Priest is this young up and comer that Bobby Fish demolished in 3 minutes. Like, yes, that is great for Bobby Fish going into the Oprah Cup, but what does that do to Adam Priest that you hyped the shit out of, man? Like, you can't hype up someone like this and then do that to him. Like it would have been fine if it was literally like anybody else, like not on the MLW roster. Like if you're going to squash someone without the name value that you didn't take the time to hype up. Like, why would you do that? This harkens back to like Warhorse and Gnarls Garvin, like where they do these, promo videos for them and then just immediately squash them out when they show up. I guess Beef got like half a push. Beef won one match and then also got to wrestle Gangrel out of the deal. But both those guys, they wasted time and energy like pushing up just to like knock him down, which I guess it puts your guys over, but like at the expense of anyone, basically the expense of effort.
See, so Rob, what? Okay, so you're 0 for 1 on the first St. Laurent thing. Would you say this was a hit or miss for your second part?
Honestly, just because of who was involved, a miss.
Okay, so 0 for 2, 1 for 1. Okay, then we go Davey Boy Smith with Saint Croissant versus Timothy Thatcher. Now, Rob made a good point that if this is your thing, you're going to love it. Unfortunately, this is not my thing, right? Like, I sat back and was like, damn, I expected more from both of these guys. I get it. If you're, like you said, and you'll go into the catch wrestling thing, hold on. Y'all more educated than me in this shit. I thought this would be more of a physical dominant like display of strong style moves and all that shit. It did not happen. I was fucking bored. So now I'm 0 for 3 on this, and I'm like, okay, go ahead. This is the platform for y'all to talk. I'm saying my piece. So go ahead.
I said prior to coming on the air, and before too, when Chef had expressed his disapproval of this match, and this is a match that is very much you would use a food metaphor too. Like some people don't like Thai food, some people don't like Mexican food, etc., etc., etc. Like no matter what they did in this match, if they were going to do this style, you're either A, you're going to love it, or you're going to hate it. There's not going to be a whole lot of in between, because this is not your traditional like proper American styling of professional wrestling. This is akin to a bit more pure MMA, or closer to the British catch styling without some of the little like flashes of brilliance overall. That being said, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I love this match. I could sit and watch catch wrestling for hours at a time. Give me some little Johnny Saint where he's doing his little somersault rollouts and doing the Lady of the Lake, and I'm a happy camper. My only complaint with the match, honestly, is the fact that, well, kind of with the Adam Priest thing, they keep bringing Timothy Thatcher in and hyping him up as like this big threat, and he doesn't win a match. Like, yes, at least he gets a chance to showcase his moves. So like he can get a little bit, he can, build himself up a little bit because he didn't get squashed. But it makes me sad when I see Timothy Thatcher's coming back at this event, and I'm like, yeah, Timothy Thatcher's coming back. Oh, who's he going to lose to?
Exactly.
I'm going to be happy with how the match, with the match itself. But like again, like wins and losses do ultimately matter compared to what the Road Dogg thinks to a certain extent. Like yes, it's good to be entertained, but you still have to put over your talent in a certain way, shape, or form as well. So that's my brief aside on that. Other than that, like I was perfectly fine with the match. Like the match made me a happy camper just being able to see, you know, wrestling steak in action. Real graps if I were in AEW.
Yeah, I love this match because I love both wrestlers and I knew what was going to happen in this match. And, you know, we get used to seeing the same stuff. You know, they do a lot of high-flying stuff, a lot of running, a lot of power moves. But, you know, there's times that you need to slow it down and do stuff like this. Not through the whole show, but one match or two matches per show. I love it. And I enjoyed this fight. It was long enough. It wasn't short. They gave it enough time. And we knew, I mean, was this match part of the Opera Cup? Opera Cup?
Yeah.
So we knew that Davey Boy Smith wasn't going to lose this. So that, you know, that advantage you already knew for the Opera Cup, you knew that wasn't going to happen. So, but I enjoyed the match, man. One match per show or two like this matches per show, I'm good with it. I love it.
So I think Rob hit it on the head when he said this is either your thing or it's not. There's kind of no in between.
Well, see,
right?
I'm into everything. You know, I love high flying. I love our car accidents in the ring. I love power when this beef guy is doing stuff.
Well, hold on.
There's times, you know, there's so much.
Hold on. You're telling
stuff you could do in every match. Sometimes
you're telling tall tales because you don't like everything because the OD hardcore stuff ain't your thing.
Oh yeah.
So you even said you checked out of the main event when
that hardcore stuff. That's too much. After a while, it kind of gets boring. But you know, there's so much high flying you could do, so much power moves you could do. Sometimes you gotta slow it down and give us some, like, you know, like Cash style, that, you know, like grappler style. You know, give me some moves, put somewhere in a presso and get out of it. Show something you like, ooh, that was impressive. You know, type deal shit. There were times that I thought Thatcher might pull it off. You know, there was some bits and pieces like, oh shit, he's actually gonna pull it off. But
is Thatcher young?
Not really. No, he's been wrestling for partner 20 years at this point.
Oh shit!
Everybody's been wrestling for 20 years.
Yeah,
and some of them are hitting their late 20s. So imagine that.
So now this is one of two matches I actually enjoyed. So Bad Dude Tito with the beautiful Salina de la Renta versus Jay Chris. Right now, and I said this because I'm not a big Jay Chris guy, but not because he's in MLW, because I've seen him live mad times. He's a good wrestler, right?
Yeah.
But his work in MLW, win or lose, has been nothing short of amazing, right? Like, he's winning me over something crazy. I'm becoming this big Jay Chris guy. Every time he's in the ring, I absolutely enjoy it. So I was kind of like, damn, I love Big Dude Tito, Bad Dude Tito, pause. But against Jay Chris, I got to go Bad Dude Tito. These guys went at it, right? Like, they had a great match. I loved it. It felt super clean. They were strong, everything. Bad Dude Tito comes out on top. I tweeted this one, and I mean it. Bad Dude Tito, even though that this was not a technically clean win because there were some shenanigans that happened, but from the prior national openweight champion and how badly that belt was booked, Bad Dude Tito is putting a breath of fresh air on that title. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, and he's on ROH, he's in CMLL, like, he's everywhere right now. So salute to him for doing his thing. I think he's been a really good champion so far. Really enjoying his reign. Gentlemen, Bad Dude Tito, Jake Chris, talk to me.
Yeah, good match. It was for the title, so we knew Bad Dude Tito was going to take the victory here. I was kind of expecting it to be a clean fight there, but towards like you said, towards the end, you know, some things happened there, and he got the win. But other than that, you know, you had Jay Chris speed and you know, flying abilities going up against the power moves of Bad Dude Tito. So right there, you have one type of wrestler against another type of wrestler. At the beginning, it was all Jay Chris, and then towards the end or the middle, then Bad Dude Tito took over. So this was like two opposites that gel perfectly into the match.
I'm glad you said
and
that.
This I love this match too, because like you said, it was Bad Dude Tito and of course the lovely Mr. Renta out there doing her thing, walking around, but I love this match. So like I said, the right person won, Bad Dude Tito, and like you mentioned, in one match on one title defense, he did more for that belt than the last champion had done with that belt for almost 6-7 months that he had it. So hopefully at the next show, pay-per-view, the show, either for the actual show or the tapings, the belt will be, back, be defended on the show. So
my bad, Rob. What I liked about, even though it was a quick little thing that ultimately cost Jay Chris the match, was the Notorious BRG coming out, which is keeping that feud alive.
Yes.
And Jay Chris being a veteran in this industry, and I don't know how long, Brett Ryan Gosselin has been in this industry. I don't know. I know he's young, and I think that having a rivalry with a veteran like that will only keep progressing his career in the right direction. And I like that MLW is keeping this going until we get some kind of, ending to this beef.
Do they have a match for the next show by any chance? Yeah or no?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But everything
hopefully they'll do.
From before and Battle Riot to now, these guys have got this little internal beef going on, and it's subtle. It's not like they're throwing it down your throat, but I want more of this, right? And I like the chemistry between the two guys.
And I'm hoping that they have a match, one-on-one match coming up at the next show.
Yeah. My fault, Rob.
No, it's going good. I don't know how much more I can add because I pretty much feel the same way you guys do. This is a classic power versus speed match, and Jake Christ, if nothing else, which this is a lie, he can do lots of other things, but if nothing else, the dude can take a beating and can be tossed around like a rag doll. So like this really, really added. It was able to add to the story of the match with Tito's superior strength, where he could just toss Jake around. Like, I mean, he did a belly-to-belly suplex over the top rope to the floor. He's out of the Battle Riot, even though it was last month. But no, I really like the match. I mean, I'm not going to poo-poo friend of the show, Jake Christ, terribly much. I will just continue to make fun, regardless of how much the good Tito's doing. I'll make fun of him and keep throwing out winning percentages. I think he's at Mr. 700 right now. But no, I'm hoping they're turning this title back into a workhorse title, because if that's the case, I think Tito is the right man for it.
Okay, so I finally enjoyed something. Ta-da! Right? Hey!
Finally.
Then where my head is going like this at this point, and I'm like, now I sit up, right? Now I'm like, okay, dope. I'm back in, right? I got my wake up juice going, and the next thing that happens is fucking McGriddle and Sami Callihan, right? So McGriddle's sitting there talking this shit, bro. That's your interview, bro. Sami Callihan, who I'm mad as fuck with, comes out, talks shit, attacks him. They get split up. They're talking greasy. Why? Like, I just, one guy wants a shot at the main title. Sami Callihan has done absolutely jack shit in his entire run from being in MLW again, even to joining the Falling. What the fuck has he done to put him in this position?
Well, he hates McGriddle, but that's for certain. So I know now they have a match at the next show, like a no rope or no ropes match or whatever for McGriddle's #1 contendership. So,
but my thing is though,
it's a feud.
But Matt Riddle has won. Now we're not fans of this guy, right? We're 3 guys on a podcast, and we're 0 for 3 on Matt Riddle. We're not saying he sucks or whatever. We don't even got to go into it. We're not fans, but he has been winning since he's been in MLW.
Yes.
Sami Callihan has been losing since he's been in MLW. So why would this even matter?
Well, this is just trademark like wrestling in general. How many guys have just walked into since we're talking MLW, how many guys have just walked into MLW and just got a title shot practically right off the bat?
Jake Christ.
Yeah, like I love
Bad
Jake
Dude
Christ,
Tito.
but yeah, I said like what has he done to deserve this? Bad Dude Tito has a losing record, challenges for the World Heavyweight Championship.
No, he was 500.
Oh, he was 500 when he challenged for it. Yeah, he corrected. He even corrected me on that one. We hit a soft spot on each other, and I jabbed him, and then he told me to go cry about it. He lost a World Heavyweight title match, and then like 2 weeks later gets a shot at the National Openweight Championship. So like this is just like MLW Pro Wrestling in general. If you just show up and scream loud enough that you're going for a title, somehow you will magically get a title shot. So I should have yelled louder. I should have yelled louder in Chicago, and maybe Tito would have beat my ass or something.
Next time when they go back in November, they will.
That is fair enough. Rob makes a good point. So then we get Mr. Marquez with El Jefe and some of El Jefe's goons. Now, why Mr. Marquez, Muffins Martinez guy, wants to sit there and try to laugh when he tries to stunt like El Jefe ain't Father of the Year material.
Mother.
Right? Like, this was extremely disrespectful on Mr. Marquez to try to take a jab at El Jefe. Now, I thought El Jefe should have slapped the ish out of him. Like, just gave him a quick, like, pow. Like, Toma, take that. Just give him one quick one. And because to me, a boss like El Jefe wouldn't allow somebody to talk to him like that. So I think he should have open hand slapped the ish out of Dave Marquez. Now, I'm going to have Rob go second on this because this is your guy. Mr. Marquez was very disrespectful to the boss.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was
his job.
But I thought it was interesting though that like he magically like grew a proper backbone for this segment to even like he's been pretty neutral up until this point. Like he's been a good backstage interviewer. He's been pretty neutral, and then now all of a sudden he's coming up with the hard hitting questions of like, why weren't you there forever? But yeah, like I don't know. I also felt like whereas this segment was done all right, I felt overall like it was a nothing burger. Like at best, it just showed that El Jefe didn't give two poops about Salina de la Renta's Father's Day present because, as a matter of fact, it's a week late. Just like everything else she does, she just can't do it quite right. But yeah, it's like I do think it was interesting the tone Marvez took on that one, but like, I guess. There's a lot of more in this case. Like I ignored it. Like it got buried in the everything else that was going around in the moment of like the chaos of the segment prior, and then our big couple of surprises that we would have sprinkled out through the show. I kind of like forgot about that he took a tone to El Jefe. So I imagine we just won't see him again. He's the bottom of the bay with cement shoes.
I think it's my biasness for El Jefe that I just enjoy whenever he's on TV. That I really enjoy, and to me, he kind of feels like a Manuel Noriega to me. I don't know why El Jefe, because you don't really see that, but his body language, his mannerisms, the way he moves, comes off very cartel-like, right? Like he really has this vibe to him. So I like the aggressiveness, and to me, the reason why, and I'm just throwing the hypothetical, why I think he hasn't been around, because what we've seen El Jefe's prior work, he was really banging out. He was doing some questionable things that he didn't want to wrap around his family. He did the right thing. El Jefe is Father of the Year to me.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. With that at all. Like, I mean, he's been pretty much been made out to be like in various forms, basically to be a mobster of various sports, and so like a good mobster kind of separates that stuff, because that way his family doesn't get whacked, because there's always one load nut job who thinks they'll move up in the world by taking out the family, even though that's a terrible idea. But yeah, so like, it's keeping his family safe, and if nothing else, it also helps out should he choose to retire. He can even retire quasi in plain sight. Like, I can't remember the mobster. There was a mobster that retired to Florida and basically just acted like a homeless guy, like hidden in plain sight. Like, he was still wanted by the FBI, and he would just wander around town in his bathrobe and mutter to himself all day long. Just He could do that because he kept himself just low enough profile and kept everyone else away from his dirty dealings.
See, I love where this podcast is going. Muffins, don't derail it. Don't derail it.
Well, man, just go back. To what's the next match? Who cares?
Whoa.
What's the next match?
Okay, Akira versus Ikuro Kwon, right? So I was super excited for this until I found out that this was an uppercut match, and I'm like, shit. Akira's being pushed to the wall. He's gonna win, right? Like, this is as soon as I saw that, I was like, damn. But to me, Akira has had a few handful of matches that have pushed him to another level, and I feel like we've seen another level to Akira out of what he got from Ikuro Kwon. Like, those guys went ham. And I'm telling you right now, they better start taking Ikuro Kwon real serious, because that muscle mass he has is incredible, right? Like, he's no longer a thin little soldier. This guy is a problem. So Ikuro Kwon, he dominates the match, ultimately loses. Great finish. I love this match. I'm like, okay, I can fuck with this outside of fucking a Contra unit member losing, which, you know, shock. But fucking great match. Both guys killed it. I want to see more of this. Like, when we were doing the live and both of them, one was in the ring and they kind of like looking face to face, I said, yo, I need this one-on-one. I got the one-on-one. And this was a fucking great match. So I loved it. Akira winning kind of put me on a, I guess, even though the kid is talented. Let's keep it 100. But Ikuro Kwon should have won it. I'm just being honest.
No, this is another Opera Cup, right?
Yep.
Opera Cup match. Yeah, so, yeah, like you said, Akira has been on a target for the last couple of months now, since the beginning of the year. Straight shot, you know, they finally got away from the calling. They finally beat and disbanded the calling. So they're trying to move away from the hardcore shit to more regular matches, which we know he can wrestle. We just don't see it a lot, but this was a perfect match of showing Akira can wrestle. And Ikuro Kwon, we know what he could do. So, and unfortunately, we knew being an Opera Cup match, it was going to be the losing guy.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned before, you know, Contra unit is not there to win individual thing. They're there to for a bigger goal. So Ikuro Kwon lost, but you know he did his thing. He beat the shadow out of Akira. And who's his opponent coming up? Akira's opponent.
I don't
Minoru
think
Suzuki is the next one, but not for the Opera Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, not for the Opera Cup.
No, I think this is just a regular match.
Okay, so hopefully he soft them up for that match coming up. Oh, that's for the July show, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
So hopefully, you know, Grandpa Murder there will, you know, twist him around and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, because and this is taking nothing away from Akira. Akira's not big enough stature-wise to run through Contra unit, right? Like, he's not that build where you go, this is believable. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he had another person with him that was defending him, I could see that. But you take out Kwon, cool, you beat him.
Yeah.
I don't think at any point that he should be Suzuki. Like, that's crazy to me.
Cool. We'll find out when it happens next month.
Well, let's not just overtake Rob's spot. Rob hasn't got to talk this yet.
Rob, talk, man. Damn.
I'm actually
speak, bro.
I'm actually surprised. Like, I was actually surprised that Akira won, to be honest, because when they announced that he was facing Suzuki next month, I kind of went like, oh, well, maybe Kwon's going to pick up the victory here, like either through shenanigans or they're actually going to try to like push a Contra presence within the Opera Cup itself. Like either or would make narrative sense. But but this is just me figuring like, oh, well, if Akira doesn't have an Opera Cup match next month, he's probably and he's getting this high profile of a match, he's probably taking the L there, which again with Contra, like there's really no shame in taking the L there, because if nothing else, they got a numbers game that come in, or he could just get gang beating in the process for it. But the match itself, it was great. Both guys really showed out. I'm glad that they gave Kwon an opportunity because he's always been kind of the Contra unit scrub. Like he's kind of the guy that they've been like, oh, we finally need Contra to lose a match conclusively. Send Kwon out, like. Except for the times where they'll send out Sendai number 82 or whatever. But if they needed a name person to go out and take a loss for Contra, they sent out Kwon to do it. But yeah, this is great for him to see him actually kind of like get a showcase, especially again, like that he's bulked up quite a bit too. So he's looking legit. Not that looks are everything, but like it's hard to take a guy that looks like that, it's hard not to take a guy that looks like that seriously.
And he's 1,000 miles of run. Like Kwon's speed is crazy. He's flying around that ring, kicking the shit out of people. Love the guy. It is what it is. What we got next? I gotta look. See, so Kira defeated. Mystico versus Star Jr.
Oh shit! Yes.
This match was fire.
Yes.
Right? Like this was my favorite match of the night. Yes. I've been liking Star Jr. for a little while now. I was like, wow, this guy is really fucking cool. Mystical, we know we get from him. The guy's a legend for a reason, right? Like it's not like we're gonna sit here and go, oh, this Mystical had a great match. He always has a great match. It's what he does. But Star Jr. took it to me, and I like saying this because, and I mean what I say. We've seen an evolution of Star Jr. So we've seen shit before, but this was for the title. And both guys went all out. They shook hands at the end. This was a dope fucking match. So I loved it. Star Jr. to me, he's got to be one of the rising stars coming through MLW. Like especially with this partnership with CMLL. I think at some point, even if Mystico has to drop the belt, I think it'll be cool for Star Jr. to win it, go between CMLL and all that cool shit. But I mean, gentlemen, this was a fucking fire-ass match.
Yeah, no, this is everything you would expect from a Lucha Libre match. Though I was actually surprised that they really played up the respect element out of it, considering that both individuals were on opposite sides of the Lucha War, per se, and they like played by Ring of Honor rules where they started the match with respect and ended the match with respect. But I also like that they told, like within the ring, that they told the story of like, we respect each other, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to do whatever it takes to take you down. Like, yeah, they didn't do a whole lot of like full on cheating or whatever, but like Star Jr. went for the mask, like of Mystico. So he was still like, he may have not like snuck in some chokes or a chair shot, but like he still played a little bit underhanded just because that's how much the title meant to him and how much this win would mean to him. Unfortunately, Mystico is still one of the best in the world at this moment, and it's just not Star Jr.'s time yet. But Mystico can do amazing things in the ring, and Star Jr. kept up with it, which is amazing in and of itself.
Yeah, I love this match. Give me some Lucha Libre, let them high fly, and I'm good to go. Only thing that gets me upset is like we keep getting Mystical defending the title here in the show with other CMLL stars. Why can't he wrestle someone from MLW to defend the belt here? Or from MLW
you have to defend it against here?
Yeah, somebody from MLW to go over there and challenge for the title over there. It's like it just drives me crazy. Like it's once again, it's like this one-way partnership or whatever. Yeah. Oh, we want Mystical. Yes, bring him out. Oh, we're going to defend it against who? Oh, somebody from there. Okay, that's fine. Well, shit. What about us? Well, like when he's going to defend against one of us here, even if the guy from MLW loses, that's fine.
But this has been our beef with MLW things for a while, right? Yeah. Like MLW has partnerships with like Pro Wrestling Noah, and we don't see none of our guys going there. They got this wrestling partnership with CMLL, and you haven't gotten any of our guys over there. So it's like
being defended in MLW solo shows, but it's always against a Mexican guy.
Yeah.
The only time we've seen it was against Rocky Romero, where he beat Rocky Romero for the belt, and that's it. And you haven't seen Rocky since. Since that happened.
El Jefe took your boy out.
Yeah, so he's been gone, and we still haven't had an MLW guy challenge for the belt. So
I didn't even know that. I never even processed that.
Yeah, hopefully that will change in the future. I mean, I'm fine with it, but it's just kind of getting boring when it's always the same Mexican guys wrestling for the belt in an MLW show, but no one goes from MLW over there except for Moxie, the two Japanese guys,
Koji match.
because they're the tag team champions, and then they just have Fantastic Mania, where they had in Japan, where they had the MLW titles being defended in Japan for the first time ever. So that was kind of cool. But it was in the Fantastic Mania show where it's Japan against CMLL for a week. And this time was in Mexico. And this time was in Japan because they always change locations every year. So this time was in Japan. But other than that, it's always the same people. But yeah, this match, it did everything that it was supposed to do. I enjoyed this match. This should have been the main event.
Yes.
Or at least the co-main event. But it is what it is. It did its thing. For a while there, I thought Star Jr. might have taken this match because there were some times that said, "Oh shit, he got him good with that one," and then, "Oh, hold up, ooh, maybe," and But yeah.
And to go back to your point of the title, like the title situation, or we'll say the division, like right now, like say what they want, but the a lot of the divisions like themselves within MLW isn't really terribly strong at the moment. Like there's not a whole lot of guys that I'd go like that's a middleweight guy. Like there's guys who would fit in the middleweights, but they're never like talking about them in the middleweight context. Like looking at BRG, looking at Jake Christ, for example. Like those are kind of like two guys that right now, like those just by looks of them, those should be middleweight guys. Or like, and I guess I'm not sure how much Ikuro Kwon is weighing in at right now, but I would say he would still qualify as a middleweight guy. If nothing else, just stylistically, they could probably just do a quick workaround about it and kayfabe everything, like everything else in wrestling. But there's really not much of a middleweight division right now, so it's basically a lucha division. They ran into the same problem with the featherweights for quite some time. It's still, to a lesser extent, still there. Is that they've spent there's really not much of a division outside of Janai Kai, Delmi Exo, and Zeta, and Zeta's out on tour right now, so she's going to be missing things. And so, but even when she wasn't on tour, basically she was just a annoying little fly. But they did that. They brought in the Joshis to battle Janai Kai. Meanwhile, MLW, all two other MLW women were just kind of sitting in the background doing more storyline related stuff rather than competing for the title.
Especially the hyper girl in the bicycle. Oh my god, that was horrible. But
so I mean, there's Hyper Masao. But yeah, so there really isn't much of a division for the middleweights at the moment, unless they're gonna I don't know. Unless Adam Priest is going to stay around, he would qualify as a middleweight. But I guess the question is even if we wanted to have MLW middleweight matches, who's he going to wrestle? I gave a list of 3, but 3 doesn't always make a division.
No, it's a weird spot right now, right? MLW's in a weird spot. I don't know.
I don't have an easy answer for it.
There's no tag team division either.
Yeah.
There's no tag team. There's not one tag team in MLW right now, because if you go, Mr. Thomas and Alex Kane, that's a random. That's just when they throw them together just cause out of nowhere.
Yeah, if I would come up with the tag team division right now, most of them are offshoots of stables. So it would be it would be Bomaye Fight Club. It would be Contra, where they just pair Suzuki and
what was the kids tag team again? There was 3 or 4 guys.
Oh, Wasted Youth. True number one contenders for the tag titles.
For the tag team titles.
That
5 months ago.
Yeah, that aren't booked since they left the East Coast. So at least 2 tag teams would just be stable mates put together, or 3. Well, WTF too, and so 3 tag teams wouldn't even be official tag teams. They would just be the tag team of the stable at best.
Yeah.
And wow, it works texting to me, make sure I'm not flooded out, even though I'm at the top of the hill. and
Oh shit.
but I'm close enough to the Mississippi, which may be flooding in the near future.
Please.
Okay, so by the if anyone actually cares, I'm fine. Like, but my work doesn't discriminate against that. They just hear flood warning and send out generic "Is everyone okay?" messages. But yeah, so I got distracted. Yeah, so like most of the tag teams that would be in the tag division aren't even like proper tag teams as a whole. They're just clopped together because they're affiliated with the stable, and that just leaves Cozy Max, which I always kind of felt was slapped together anyway, and the Second Gear Crew.
Yeah. So match 6, you got Miyu Yamashita
Yes.
versus Jazzy Yang
Yes.
versus Muffins Girl Danny Jordan. Right?
Yes.
I think I said all of them right. So if I did
Yes.
once in a blue, a dog, catch the ball.
You said a Japanese name right for a change.
Listen, everybody gets lucky once in a blue, right? So I didn't know a lot about Jazzy Yang or the Yamashita girl. Now I knew a little bit about Danny Jordan from independent stuff and things like that. I didn't know a lot, but I didn't know who she was. The Yamashita girl is fucking fire, right? Like her physical game, and she's legit, right? I really like her. Jazzy Yang, I thought it was cool that they showed Jimmy Yang sitting there, the crowd going crazy. He had his yellow kung fu gear on, kind of thing, looking snazzy. Salute to freaking Pops. He's there. Jazzy Yang, unfortunately, a lot of times she was getting her ass thrown out this ring, right? It seemed like both girls were like, nope, you get out. We're going to bang out. Danny Jordan looked really good. And I know, Muffins, you said she's been out for a little while. So welcome back to wrestling. And I hope we see her more in MLW because I was really impressed. I would like to see her versus a Delmi Exo coming up. I think that would be a banger match. And, eventually go against fucking
Danny Jordan just came back, and I think she'll be wrestling for, I want to say, I've been seeing her for like 5-6 years now.
But she's young.
And just like everybody else, the frustration kind of mounts where you're in different companies and like the championship wrestling from everywhere, AEW a couple of times, and you kind of getting at that door, but the door never opens, type of deal.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get frustrated with life and other shit outside of wrestling. So I think she took a big break because she was going for, like, I want to say, for almost a year, maybe more.
Wow.
Before she decided to come back. So I'm glad she's back. And then Jazzy Yang is like 1/3 of the fabulous Free Babes with Miranda Gordy, which, Terry Gordy's daughter, and one more girl, can't remember the other girl's name. Well, I didn't know she just turned 21. I thought she was a little older than that. So she just turned 21. Oh, yeah. But, we saw Jazzy Yang, she was a little green. I think it's like the first time she's been on a big stage, wrestling stage, but she looked good.
She ain't look nervous.
Yeah, no, she did not. With the blood her father has, she shouldn't. But she looked good. She looked good, and Danny Jordan showed that she could go. And like you said, hopefully in the future we can have a Danny Jordan versus Delmi Exo match, or even the girl who's out in Japan right now. And I forgot her name.
Zeta Steel.
Yeah, Zeta Steel. Hopefully she'll come back in a couple of months from up there from Marigold. So, but like you guys mentioned, there's featherweight division is very thin. Like we even saw the announcement made by De La Renta on social media about if you have any Florida wrestlers who want to be, who wants to wrestle coming up and that don't have any contracts with anybody else. So which means they're very thin in the featherweight division, and we also means we could get an influx of new females, new faces out there in Florida, and I'm pretty sure you from there, there's a hotbed of a lot of female wrestlers out there who are ready. So
the thing is too, we had Sophia versus
Zeta.
She was like one of the ones. The match went on too long though.
Oh yeah, Sophia
Steel.
Castillo against Zeta. Yeah, that match was terrible.
She's talented. You got Lexi Gomez. She's fucking talented. Right, Lexi Gomez can go with anyone. I don't care what anyone says. That girl is fucking talented. But for some reason, a lot of people will pick like the Amber Nova over them, and both of those girls are way more talented than Nova. So I don't get it. But I mean, just those two alone. I mean, yeah, you could bring whatever.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, I say Florida Independence is not my strong suit, so like I can't. All of my recommendations would be Northeast or Midwestern, but I mean, if they're willing to fly people, I could probably come up with a whole list.
What about the Jazzy Yang and the girls?
Oh, sorry, we got so off. I'm sorry, we got so off topic here of like talking like bringing stuff in the featherweight division. Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry to cut you off, Rocky. No, hold on. I just thought of something. I'm surprised you haven't started like your own little federation up there, ACF.
You gotta have money for that.
Yeah, all corn federation.
You gotta.
You said corn. He spelled with a K.
No, but I'm saying he's own wrestling company, All Corn Federation.
I am poor.
Wrestling, ACW, All Corn Federation Wrestling. You know. He could make his own stuff out there wherever he's at, Missouri or whatever.
I am only qualified to book right now. I've not taken any promoting shows, and Merrick Brave will not let me behind the curtain because I'm a crazed idiot. And also, I can't start my own promote. I only have sponsorship money. I don't have promoter money because I'm not backed in any way, shape, form by MLW, and not enough people have joined my Patreon to make the podcast a bit better.
Hopefully soon then.
Yeah, play the lottery. But no, like I was pleasantly surprised with this match because, like, I'm not gonna lie, the cynic in me basically just said like, oh, they got Jimmy Yang, they're gonna bring his daughter in, and where's that Shaq meme of like, I apologize, I wasn't aware of your game. Like, that is how I feel. It's definitely how I feel about Jazzy right now. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, yes, she's green, but she's also super young. But like, they actually maximized her. Like, well, maybe not maximized, but like they did a good job of hiding a lot of the greenness in the match because she did spend a lot of time being kind of like the transitional woman in the match. So like when it was ready for Yamashita to come in, she got Jazzy got kicked out. When it was time for Danny to come back in, Jazzy got kicked out. But she got some good spots in there as well and showed off some of those things that she could do. And Danny Jordan, I was familiar with the name, but not familiar with her work. But at least she had some name value, so I could like, okay, that'll be good enough. And then like I will, I'm going to be hard pressed to say something bad about Yamashita because, like, one, she's one of the best wrestlers in the world, just in general, and two, like, anyone who responds to me positively, like, I'm a sucker for positive attention, and she was super excited to see me once. So I'm not going to say anything bad about her, even though it was more along the line that I was wearing a chef designed MLW logo. She just got excited because she had literally the night before wrestled for MLW, and MLW. Like, yes, saw your match, and I'm pretty sure she didn't understand a word I said after, after she was done, screaming at me. But no, joking everything aside, like, it was a good match, and it pleasantly surprised me just because I wasn't familiar with the game of 2/3 of the people in the match.
No, listen, I enjoyed it. It was good. Main event. So we get Mads Kruger versus one called Manders. I mean, this was a typical bull rope match, right? Like, it wasn't like something out.
Like I told Rob K, I tuned out at that time.
Did you watch it?
I did not. I tuned out.
You didn't even finish it?
I did not. Like I'm so tired of this. The whole Matthew Justice and man one whatever Manders going up against this guy already. I'm tired of it. It's like every month, a damn different match with them. You see that one or the other one against Kruger.
So wait.
Matthew Justice next month.
The Kruger with Justice match, the first one was 5.
Yeah, to a bit.
Oh, and that one was crazy.
Yeah,
like,
and
seeing that live.
And then this time was Manders, and then next month is going to get Justice again.
Well, they got to finish. They got to finish the
enough.
Well, hold on. All right, so Rob, you'll come in right after this because he
He
just
didn't watch the match.
shit.
What was he get to talk about?
Yeah, he fully shitted on it.
Yeah.
But did you see them stomp him out at least? Like any kind of clip of them stomping out?
Yes, afterwards when Janai Kai
Okay.
came in. Yes.
This to me took it back to the streets because these dudes were like serial stomping the shit out of Manders, right? I was like, wow, this is not like the typical wrestling where they're like, huh. No, these guys were like super quick stomping out one called Manders. I thought that was hilarious. Janai Kai interferes, kicks his fucking head off. Once again, Janai Kai is just...
second time now. Janai Kai has kicked Manders' head off.
What was the first? Because I know she did it to Matthew Justice backstage.
That's how that was her proper introduction as a Contra member.
No, that was Matthew Justice's match.
That was Justice.
Yes.
Well, she showed up like during the breakdown for Battle Riot and came out and kicked Manders' head off.
Oh.
I think So when we first seen her in Contra Unit, she comes out the screen, knocks out Matthew Justice. Bomb.
Yeah, that was
Battle
backstage. So
Riot.
that's right. That technically happened first, but I couldn't see any pre-tapes.
Yeah,
because I was in the crowd for that one. So that's
so
what my
Matthew
memory
Justice
was.
gets it. She gets one called Manders, then gets him again. So she's putting in work. They stomp him out. They bull rope him, like choking him out to the back. And I'm like, is this the end of like SGC? Right? Like, are they writing them off? Because if they annihilate one called Manders there, and then he takes out Matthew Justice, which would suck because I like Matthew Justice, SGC might be gone. Right? Like, this was my take on it. Was like, wow, they writing them off and they're gonna just annihilate them. I don't know. One called Manders loses, gets stomped out, dragged out like fucking like cattle.
Yeah, I at least like the fact that Justice, I mean, it was too late, so he's taking a page out of Manders' book right there. Showed up too late to help your friends, but I like that like Justice was like actually bothered to come out and was like, and they did like the backstage with it was like Manders, and then he just got sucker punched and taken out too, so he didn't get to do much of anything. But I like that at least they bothered to do something with that because like so many times like stables just stomp out baby faces and no one comes to help them and it looks stupid. Yeah, and I will like point out that Manders is usually it's usually the other way around, that Justice is the one getting the shit kicked out of him, and then Manders is way too late to come save the day. But I thought the match was serviceable. Like it definitely was. It wasn't as chaotic as the Matthew Justice match, but that's really not Manders' thing quite as much. Like, yeah, he gets crazy. He'll get extreme too, but he's not Matthew Justice of like gusset plates and balcony dives. Like, so they're both crazy, but they're both crazy in two entirely different ways. And Kruger just doesn't care. He'll do whatever, man.
I think Manders it doesn't match up with Matt Kruger. I think that it just didn't sit right. Like, maybe their styles don't work or something, because it wasn't that good of a match.
Yeah, I mean, it was serviceable. Like, it was all right. I mean, they had the rope, so you could do all sorts of like stupid stuff and take turns choking each other and more cowbell puns or whatever. We got color out of the match, so like that was the thing. Yeah. Well, and I think also, like, yeah, I think there may have been some stylistic differences, which I think is interesting since both guys are really physical, but they're both physical in different ways. Like, Kruger is very much, again, kind of it plays the giant role because, well, let's face it, he's kind of a giant. Yeah, so he just kind of comes in and does like big, like slammy things, whereas Manders is a bit more of like a New Japan, like, or All Japan King's Road kind of style, where like he wants to get hit as hard as you can hit him, and he wants to be souplayed as hard as you can slam him to the mat as well, and that isn't quite Kruger's thing. But yeah, it was what it was. Would it should have been the main event? Probably not. The important thing is Janai Kai came in and kicked Manders' head off, which is the best thing in the world, and I can watch that next to my Johnny Saint matches all day long. Because anytime Manders gets his head kicked off by a kick demon is thoroughly entertaining to me. But yeah, I definitely I felt like outside of like the chaos that ensued afterwards, like it really wasn't worthy of a main event spot. just in terms of match order. But like they could have done the whole extended beatdown anywhere else in the show, and it wouldn't have been necessarily out of place. Especially since they didn't end the show on this thing. They went like way too long with it for a main event for it not to be the proper end of the show. I thought as well.
Fact. So something else happened with De La Renta, but we're not going to talk that because I'm going to do my own little segment on that. So I want that for myself. Now, gentlemen. I know, Rob, my bad. If Muffins is not going to let me sit here and talk it, we're not going to talk it. So if you had to rate this 1 to 10, what are you going to rate it? I got it at a strong 4.
I'd say like 5 or 6. Okay. Just like for the most part, and it's because the matches overall, like if you take the entirety of bell to bells, like the matches were fine. The matches were good to great, even for the most part. Yes, there was some things that are kind of like but like bell to bell, like overall it was fine. But it was the everything else involved. Like there really wasn't enough like proper progression, I felt, with storylines, and then some of the other things that they did just were like meh. Like again, such as with Saint Laurent, like felt completely flat. Like Contra Second Gear Crew was in an odd place, and like and really it's been going on seemingly forever as well without any like progress. It's just been Contra comes in, beats up Second Gear Crew, leaves. In 2 weeks we're going to have a match between Kruger and a Second Gear Crew member. They come in, destroy the Second Gear Crew, leave. Like, so there's been no progress in the story, like regardless of what's going on with that. And Second Gear Crew's never been able to get like one up on, Contra to make it that interesting. They should not. Yeah, but that makes for a boring story though too. Like unless they I'm
all for the boring story then.
A good story has its peaks and valleys, and there's no peaks in that story. So like that's falling flat for me.
I'm biased. Contra unit only on the fucking trajectory up. I don't want to see any fucking, heart rate going up and down.
Well, see, like that's where I put my biases aside. Like I'm a complete anti-Manders, but like if we're gonna tell a story, we got to have our ups and downs to keep me interested. And unless they're just gonna have Janai Kai come in and kick Manders' head off every week, like you gotta do something else to keep me entertained. But yeah, so like I don't felt like there was enough real progression into the story. So like most of the show just felt like it was just there. Like the matches were decent. I can't complain too much about the matches, but the rest of the show was And then we have our big surprise ending that we're not going to cover for reasons. And like that gets like that for me is also really weird because what do you do? Like what are you going to do with that story? Like we've now just crossed into telenovela land, and how does this, like on one hand it can be very entertaining, but again like we still need to encapsulate this within a pro wrestling aspect, and so how are we going to pull this back into
I got
the ring?
This Muffins is anti this. I got this.
Yeah,
my score is that I give it a strong 6 of the show.
So we're at an average 5.
Strong 6.
Yeah.
And I know one thing that I kind of noticed that kind of baffled me, not one mention or not even a picture or anything of Alex Kane. And I think this is the first time in months that I did not see Alex Kane in any of these shows or even a mention of Alex Kane, which kind of surprised me. I was like, oh shit, okay, hold up. I saw the name when they showed the bracket for the Oprah Cup.
Yeah.
But that was the only time that I saw his name, and usually he's heavy on every episode of MLW for months. So I was kind of surprised not seeing him anywhere this week.
So, and to be fair, he's kind of in a transition point right now because he just finished the feud for the what's left of the Bomaye Fight Club, and so we got to move to our next storyline beat, and they probably won't touch that until the next big show instead of this mid show.
Listen, they got an hour out of us for a show. I only wanted to talk 15 minutes, right? Like, so y'all got an hour.
You said 15 minutes?
Yeah, I wanted to run through this.
Yeah,
I was like,
minutes and
man, I talk about this. I can talk about this by myself for a half an hour. I kept my mouth shut for this, man.
And an hour later, we're still here. Yeah, we went over 45 minutes over.
Listen, I'm gonna drop some shit on y'all because he doesn't want to talk. Well, he don't want to talk. Let me get it. There you go, right here.
Whatever.
He don't want to talk it. I got it. I'll fucking handle it. I'll go into my fucking Telemundo fucking days, and it is what it is.
On the closet like you used to do with the light.
Oh, the ching.
Yeah, with the light in the closet. And give us the breaking news.
Listen, so y'all know what it is, man. OG Boricua Down Down, Muffins Martinez, Rob K. Y'all gonna deal with us, and I think we might be back Wednesday or Friday. Who knows? But it is what it is.
We'll surprise y'all.
Yeah, we'll surprise y'all. Enjoy your week. It is what it is. Deuces.
No more